The Chiefs band performing beautifully, as they always do, and they complete the playing of the national anthem. Good crowd on hand, of course, for the Chiefs, and of course... Thank you, Johnny, and we're back at North Jackson High School. Band, the color and pageantry going on here, and we've got the mascot riding the horse. That's Michael Guest. And not quite as rapid up and down the field, but he's going to stake his claim, I think, around the 50-yard line as traditional. And man, a great deal of tradition has already developed around this Chiefs program. And our Chiefs will be decked out in their black uniforms tonight with their white numerals and their red trim. And the Fairview Aggies, purple and gold, and they're dressed in their white jerseys and white trousers. And to all the people making Chief football possible in 19 and 90. And here comes our Chiefs onto the football field, led by Brandon Champion. We'll see who Coach Lolly sends out there tonight as the co-captains, and the Chiefs are all enthused about this football season. A great attitude. The coaching staff seems to really be involved in the situation. Coach Lolly seems to be much more relaxed than in years gone by, much more comfortable with his coaching situation and the program's movement in a forward and positive direction. And a lot of that has to be credited to this young coach, Philip Lolly. Across the way, the co-captains for the Aggies, and we'll pick those up for you. They're going to send 4 out there tonight. 2 of them are backs. Philip Ashley, the senior fullback, and Terry Nicholas, the senior quarterback. Also 2 of the big linemen, the tackle Barry Gardner, and coming out with him is Brad Guthrie, a senior end. The Chiefs are sending out number 80, Melvin Robinson, and alongside Melvin is Brandon Evans, another tackle, Brian Guest, and number 61, Steve Moore, the specialist, the place kicker for the North Jackson Chiefs. Thank you, John. Indeed, glad to have Big Jerry involved in this thing here with that commercial there from the fine folks at Phillips 66 and Williams Brothers Oil Company. The Chiefs have won the toss. The Chiefs have elected to report less than honest if we didn't say that the Chiefs should be favored in this ball game, maybe by a rather wide margin also. Although we haven't seen the Aggies play, but from the scouting reports, the Chiefs should be a measure or 2 above talent-wise of the Aggies, but sometimes upsets do happen. So we'll wait and see as the Chiefs get set to receive the kickoff, and it'll be the 2-star running backs down there. On the right side, Sammy Matthews. Over on the near side will be Holloway. And up in front, let's see who Coach Lolly has elected to put up there tonight. Number 27, he usually goes with some reserves, and it's David Hughes, 5'9", 165-pound junior. And over on the other side, got a lineman. Number 60, Mark 8, 5'8", 155 pounds, and a junior listed as a guard. And man, these linemen really like to get their hands on the ball. And I think a few times the linemen all seem to surprise the opponents and maybe some of the local fans as well. We're just about set for the kickoff, and they've got 3 deep for the kick, the Aggies, and I don't know who they'll have to kick the ball. I think normally Jeremy Gardner moves in, and he does. It's a short kick, and it'll be taken up front, and down at the 37-yard line, it will be downed at that point. Getting the ball immediately and going to the turf is Bobby Gurner, 5'8", 154, and a junior fullback. And here comes the Chiefs in with the first offensive series, and this drive will start at the Chiefs' 36-yard line. First period of play, 11:57 to go. The wide side of the field will be to your left. The left of the offense, and a wide receiver, Melvin Robinson, splits out to that side. Got a split backfield deployed behind Pat Vinson. Mitchell is the wing back to the right. Holloway and Matthews. Vinson with the ball, hands it to Sammy. He drives it forward for 5, breaks it open momentarily, cuts it out to his right side, and picks up about 7, maybe 8 yards as he moves it up to the 44. Bobby Mitchell for a gain of, call it 8 yards, second down, 2 to go, just shy of the 45-yard line. On a good quick opening play right up to the right side of the offensive line. Thomas Hicks, the center, about over the football. Senior quarterback Pat Vincent has a wing tee to the right. Mitchell is the wingback in the opening series. The ball goes to Holloway around the right side. He dances his way forward for 5, down the sideline for 10. He breaks it open down to the 40 and maybe a shade inside the 40 in Fairview territory on to the 39. Is there a marker down? I believe there is. It's back around the 45-yard line, and it appears the Chiefs may be guilty of some sort of infraction, a clipping call, I think. 15 yards off from the point of the foul. And if so, that'll move it back to the 40, back in Chiefs territory. Jammed up over on the far side, couldn't see the guilty player, but nonetheless, the Chiefs backed up second down now. First down yardage would be out at the 47-yard line. It's spotted at the 40, second down and 7. Pat Vincent, your quarterback. Wide side slightly to the left. Takes it in on an inside give to Holloway. Breaks open for 4, 5, 6, 7, and I believe he'll have the first down. It will be very, very close as he crosses the 45 on out to about the 46-yard line, maybe the 47. And they will move the sticks. So Holloway will get credit for 7. Chiefs with a 10-yard average, 3 plays and 30 yards. First down number 1, and here we go at the 47-yard line, right to left in Chief territory. First and 10. Wing tee is to the right. Pat Vincent with a split backfield. He hands the ball straight ahead to Matthews. He gets hit hard, pushed into the backfield, and will be down for a loss. And I think it will be somewhere around the 44-yard line. Good defensive charge that time by Scott Butler of the Fairview Aggies. A couple of other players in there with him. Also coming up from the secondary was Jeremy Gardner. And a loss on the play by the Chiefs of some 3 yards. Mitchell comes out of the game. Line of scrimmage this time will be at the 44-yard line. Chief territory, no score, 9:58 to go in the first period of play. Wing tee is to the right. Chris Stewart, the wing back in motion to the left. Here comes Chris on a handoff. He crosses the 45, outside to the 50. He's down the sideline to the 45 and on into Fairview territory at the 40 and chased out of bounds over in front of the Chief bench at the 39-yard line. For first and 10, just down at the 39-yard line. Got 19 on the play. Wide side is to the right this time. Pat Vincent under, facing a 4-man line. Here goes to Holloway. He cuts it to the left, back to the right. Beats one man. He's across the 40. He's to the 36, 35, and hustled out of bounds down near the 30-yard line. Yards and 6 runs. He's over 100 for the season. Chiefs with the ball. Vincent steps under, second down and 2. Comes to the left. He keeps it himself and gets to the 29-yard line, and I think he may be shy of a first by inches. We'll see. Vincent, the quarterback keeper to the left, ran right into the arms of one of the big defensive linemen over there, Adam Weaver. And Weaver pulled him down short of the first down, as we said, by inches, picking up only a couple of yards. Chiefs right in the middle of the field at the 29-yard line. Third down and a yard to go. Wing back in motion to the left. And they hand the ball inside and down to the 25-yard line goes the Chiefs running back, Sammy Matthews. Knocked off his feet over there by Philip Ashley once again. And if the play is allowed to stand, and the officials now on a penalty play will be talking it over with the Aggies, and the Chiefs begin moving backwards, so it looks like another infraction will go against the Chiefs. But he loses 5. Or I thought he said holding. That's an unusual amount of yardage, but anyways, moves the ball back to the 35-yard line as the Chiefs were picked. Third down and about 7 now from the 35-yard line. Vincent back, rolls left, shoots a pass. It will be to Brandon Champion, down incomplete. Very close to interference down at the 7-yard line. Jason White comes out of the game with 8:38 left. And the Chiefs will not kick the ball. Vincent with a wing tee to the right. They got about 7 or 8 people stacked up near the line, and here comes the Chiefs on a pass play again out into the left flat, intended either for Mitchell or Buchanan. But one of the Chiefs tripped, and on the 4th down pass try, the Chiefs do not complete, and the ball will go over. 0 for 2 in the passing department. The Chiefs do have 56 yards on the ground in 7 tries, and now the Aggies will take over 1st and 10 with 8:33 to go here in the period, and a quickly moving first period of play at their own 35-yard line. 0-0 is our score, and let's see who Coach Smith opens with at quarterback. And he's smothered under, and a penalty goes into the pile, as the quarterback never really got from underneath the center. That's Terry Nicholas. And the official now comes over to the 35, picks up the flag, and against whom will this be? They're discussing the issue with the Chief captain. Eldridge is up there across the front. We'll pick up those front people for you. It'll be Eldridge and Michon inside, Walker and Shavers at the ends. The Chiefs with a 4 down lineman front. Miami-style defense. Illegal procedure cost them 5 yards. And the early going has 3 penalties. Buchanan at the safety. Quarterback Nicholas rolls around to his left, keeps the ball, and gets hit for a loss of about 2. Back at the 28-yard line. Murphy Thompson over there, along with number 59 for the Chiefs, Jamie Burnett. He's one of the inside backers for our Chiefs. And a loss of 2 more makes it 2nd down and 17 yards to go. So they start with -2 on the first running play. It's back to the 28-yard line. Set in a wing T offense with Nicholas under at quarterback. Takes the ball, hands it off to the left, nothing there. The right defensive side caved in on him. Looks like Burnett, Chris Stewart, Brandon Champion. Bobby, 7:15 to go in the first quarter and no score. Chiefs had 1 possession and took it on 7 plays on the ground for 56 yards. A couple of pass plays netted no completions. Chris Stewart out to the left at strong safety, and running play up the middle gets nothing. Back maybe to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Fumble, but I believe the Aggies have gotten it back. Robert Conner in there as he comes out of the game. In on the tackle also, we might add. And now coming into the game for the Chiefs is Brian Payne. He carries number 7 on his jersey, 5'7", 134 and a sophomore. And we're in punt formation, as the Chiefs have twin safeties back there. And kicking the ball for the Aggies is Shane Hicks. Kicks it down to the 30, and the Chiefs back out of the way and let it roll. Goes inside the 25 and on down to the 22-yard line. And as we are back at North Jackson High School, the Chiefs fumbled the first play of the second series on an exchange between Pat Vinson and running back Holloway. And the Chiefs still managed to gain about a yard on the play. Line of scrimmage around the 23-yard line. Wide side of the field is off to the right. Mitchell in motion to the left. Here comes the Chiefs. As a marker is down, and a big gain on the play, but a marker is dropped at the 28-yard line and also around the 26. Looks like the Chiefs may be guilty of another clip or a hold. We'll see. Moving it out for what would have been first down yardage. Holding called against the Chiefs. Senior. Split end to the defensive end. So the Chiefs now penalized 10 yards, 2nd down and 14 to go. Inside their own 20. And here comes the Chiefs across the 25. Sammy Matthews, the ball carrier that time. And Sammy runs it forward for about 8 yards in the play. And the Chiefs now faced with 3rd down and long, nearly 8 yards to go. Wide side of the field is off to the right. Activity a little bit sluggish. Here comes Mitchell around the left side. He's got a little running room, runs across the 30 up to the 34-5, has the first down yardage out at the 36-yard line. I don't see any markers down this time, so this play probably will stand. 9 yards of the run by Mitchell. Chiefs now with 84 and 11 carries on the ground. First down and 10, number 3. 4:59 to go in the first period. But he was chased out of bounds pretty hard that time by Mike Hawes. They got a 4-man front with 4 backers and 3 deep. Here comes the wing back in motion. Handing the ball around the right side. A spinning move by Holloway across the 40, 45 onto the 50, and he is stacked up at the 50-yard line and twisted down. And the first guy to get a hand on him was Philip Ashley, and he's played all over this field defensively. And the Chiefs move it from the 36 to the 50, a gain of 14 more yards on the play. 98 yards now as Holloway runs it forward just across the midfield stripe for first down number 4. Wing T right. Wide receiver to the left. Here comes a little wing back in motion to the left. Tad Harris, he gets the ball. He's open at the 40. He's to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. He does not get in. He's tackled at the 1-yard line. Really can go. Pat Vincent steps in behind Thomas Hicks. Wing T right. Ball handed to Holloway, and he jumps into the end zone for the score. And the Chiefs get on the board with 3:55 to go in the first period of play, with David Holloway going the final yard for 78 yards. As Steve Moore will attempt the extra point. The snap, the placement, the penalty flag was dropped before the ball was spotted. So they'll line up and do it again. 3 minutes and 56 seconds, first quarter, 6-0 the score. If it's half the distance, it'll make very little difference. If they back it up 5, that'll even make a little difference also. But they're going to spot the ball once again at the 10-yard line. Buchanan holding. Kicking will be Steve Moore. The snap, the placement, the kick. It's low driving kick, and it is no good. As the Chiefs kick off, Steve Moore drives it down into and out of the end zone on the bounce. So the Aggies will put it in play. Rushing plays have not been successful in the passing department yet. Nicholas, the quarterback, with a wing T to the right, got a slot to that side. Takes it on a handoff to his running back, Philip Ashley, and he gets maybe 2 yards up to the 22-yard line as the unstackers, the left outside linebacker. Brandon Champion and Burnett in the middle. Fumble in the backfield, and I believe the Chiefs will get the ball. No signals has been given yet, but Burnett, Eldridge, and etc. around the pigskin. But they're saying that Ashley came up with it on the fumble play, no gain, so it'll be third down, still 8 to go at the 22-yard line. 6-0 Chiefs late in the first period with 2:53 to go. And the linebacker out on the right side for the Chiefs is Bobby Mitchell. Now they rotate. Got Buchanan and Chris Stewart in the secondary. And the quarterback runs it to his left and hands it off to Ashley, and he is met rather fiercely over there by Jamie Burnett for no gain on the play, so it'll be 4th down and 8 to go. 22-yard line. Next week, the Scottsboro Wildcats will be in here. That should be a barn burner as the Chiefs send the punt receiving group back, and punting for the Aggies is Shane Hicks. He's the big junior in. He'll kick from his 22-yard line, and the marker down. The Chiefs roughed the kicker. They did not touched the ball. About 4 or 5 of them really popped him hard as they tried to block the kick. And this will give the Aggies a first down, as roughing the kicker clearly evident on that one. So the Aggies will maintain possession as they discuss it with Terry Nicholas tonight for the Aggies. Fairview trail 6-0 and have the football. They set with a wishbone in the backfield this time with Nicholas, your quarterback. Keeps it himself, runs to the left, gets hit by Mitchell, and he's knocked down hard. A fumble on the play, and I believe the Chiefs have come up with a pigskin as Jamie Burnett has the ball. If it were a fumble, or was he ruled down before the fumble? No, they say the Chiefs have it. So the fumble was recovered by Jamie Burnett, and the Chiefs have the football. First down and 10 yards to go down in Aggie territory at the 33-yard line. And the Chiefs' third possession begins deep in Aggie territory at the 33-yard line with 1 minute and 31 seconds to go. On the 2 previous drives, 148 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. Wing back motion to the left, giving the ball to Sammy Matthews. He's to the 30, onto the 25, down to the 20, and into the 15-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go after an 18-yard gallop by Sammy Matthews. Ashley and Nicholas once again combining to make the stop for the Aggies. Ball handed to Matthews again. He drives it forward for 5 off the left side. Hit first into there by Terry Wanwood of Fairview. And they spotted just a shade inside the 10. Gain of 6 by Matthews. Second down, 4 to go. 9-yard line, Aggie territory. Wide side of the field is off to the right this time. We got a split backfield with Matthews and Holloway behind Vincent. Little trap play inside, and there goes David Holloway down to the 6-yard line, maybe onto the 5. Knocked off his feet by Barry Garner, senior tackle for the Aggies. And trotting onto the field, Jason White, 5'8", 143-pound senior split end and wingback. Serves as a corner also for the Chiefs. He moves out to the left this time. Got Chris Stewart over on the right. Holloway and Matthews, your running backs. Down at the 6-yard line. First down and goal to go. Vincent changing the play, perhaps, talking with his backs. Long snap count. Hands it around the right side. Holloway steps into the end zone for the score, and the Chiefs are up 12-0. And we're still in the first quarter as time has run out. And David Holloway has missed on the earlier try kicking and would like to get that 14-point leverage there. Holloway and Matthews behind Vincent on a 2-point conversion try. In motion goes Holloway. Fakes, runs right, looks into the end zone, shoots a pass. It'll be completed to Matthews for 2. And the Chiefs go up 14-0. 14-point advantage as Holloway runs it in from 6 yards away. The 2-point conversion added by Vincent to Sammy Matthews' pass. 3 plays, 33 yards, 6 points with the 2-point conversion, and we got a 14-0 score. And they're taking a little extra time, kick left to right. The ball laying flat on the field at the 40. Rarely does the Chiefs kick it. A good decoying philosophy there. Coach Lally has used that across the years and on a couple of occasions successfully as they have lined up that way and gone with a short onside kick punt or kickoff. As Steve Moore moves forward. Now he sets the ball straight on the tee. The kids, the players from sideline to sideline. And we've got Jeremy Gardner. Fakes to the running back crossing behind him, keeps it himself, runs it out across the 15 on up to the 18-yard line. And Gardner runs it from his 6-yard line back out to the 18 for a return of 12. They'll put it in play for the 3rd time at the 18-yard line, trailing 0-14 with 11:55 to go, period number 2. They have a net of 2 yards offense on 5 running plays. Of course, no yards through the air for the Aggies. Lined up with a wing tee this time. Quarterback Nicholas rolls to his left, being chased. The left-hander shoots a pass incomplete up at the 26-yard line. The nearest would-be receiver, I don't really know to whom he was trying to throw it, perhaps Philip Ashley, but it goes incomplete. And the southpaw, under a lot of pressure in his own backfield, released it out of the left flat, stopping the clock with 11:34 to go. And here comes the Aggies to try once again. Terry Nicholas, the quarterback, hands it to his running back, Philip Ashley. He goes across the 20 up to about the 22-yard line in what will be the biggest gain of the night for the Aggies. Picking up 3 yards in the play. 11-18, second quarter, 14-0 our score. And as we predicted in the pregame, the Chiefs should be the stronger team, and they're really showing that successfully right now. Nicholas, the quarterback, hands to a new man in the backfield, Chris Westmoreland, the sophomore, and he's really hammered down hard for a loss of the play back around the 21-yard line. Tracy Walker over there, Chris Michon in the play, Eldridge was there. Also, James Shavers coming in to help out from the right side. And we've got fourth down coming, and they spotted for no gain on the play. As Shane Hicks in punt formation, line of scrimmage will be the 21-yard line. The Chiefs were called for roughing the kicker on the previous one. Here comes Chris Stewart at the 44-yard line, takes it at the 50, down to the 45, 40. He breaks open to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. And a player for the Aggies is down as Chris Stewart has just run the ball 57 yards for the score. And our Chiefs extend the margin here in the second period with 10:14 to go. Nothing fancy as Chris Stewart just runs it 57 yards, broke a couple of tackles, but when he got to the 30-yard line, it was free sailing down into the end zone, and the Chiefs now move out 20-0 with the point after coming, and we've got an injured Aggie down on the field. So with the timeout for the injured player, and we'll tell you about that when we come back. We'll take a break of 30 seconds for this.
I couldn't see the number of the injured player. Doctor's got it covered up. Well, just don't penalize it there for me.
And he's out at the Aggie 46 or 7-yard line, being attended by the coaches and training staff. I think one of the assistants for North Jackson is out there. Incidentally, we want to remind you that Coach Philip Lally is assisted by Barry Schrader, Mark Farmer, Jim Thomas, Rodney Rogers, Ivan Richards, and Coach Vic Griggs. We'll have those guys highlighted in weeks to come because they certainly do an outstanding job for the Chief program. And the player getting off the field is Philip Ashley. And I believe snapping for the kick is Mark 8. The snap, the placement, the low try is good this time. So Steve Moore converts on the kick. I give it that little intro. That's a new record. And might add a little color to our broadcast. Steve Moore will prepare to kick off once again. 10:14 to go here in the second period. Suddenly it's 21-0 after the Chiefs struggled only on their first possession. Steve Moore moves on the ball, drives it. He picks it at the 6-yard line again. Back up across the 10, onto the 15, out to the 16-yard line. And he's swarmed under there by black shirt Chiefs. Looks like number 20 and number 60, Ake, and Bobby Garner making the tackle. So the Aggies will try again. This time they'll be starting at the 16-yard line with 10:04 to go in the second quarter, down 0-21. And the Platte doesn't look good for the Aggies at the moment. Nicholas, the quarterback, hands off around the right side. Not much running through there. Bobby Mitchell gets to him first. Then comes Brandon Champion. Over there, Buchanan. Somebody else being picked off the stack. Harris. And that all amounts to no gain for the Aggies. They've only gotten 5 yards in 8 carries. Here comes the Aggies on second down, 10 yards to go, maybe a shade over 10. Nicholas, the quarterback, a little trap in the backfield, got a little running room this time. And here comes Jeremy Gardner around the right side up to the 20 and onto the 24-yard line. Hit by Murphy Thompson over there. Chris Stewart in the area. As Murphy spins him out of bounds after a gain of about 7 yards. Third down, 3 to go. Biggest gain of the night for the Aggies. Still third down, 3, long 3 at that. Out at the 23 or 4-yard line with 9:15 to go in the second quarter. 21-0 is our score. Wide side of the field is to the right. Got a wide receiver to the left side, split backfield, wing to right. Nicholas gets hit nearly by the time he releases the ball, and he hands it straight ahead to Gardner. Not much running room there. Chiefs waiting with Eldridge underneath the pile. Murphy Thompson, Chris Michon. Got some new players trotting in and out now. K.K. Smith on the field for the Chiefs on 4th down and 4 with no gain. And the Aggies will punt as Shane Hicks drops back into punt formation. As 4th down and about 4 yards to go. 45-yard line, the twin safeties, Chris Stewart and Michael Buchanan. Shane Hicks will punt the ball from the 23-yard line. And he kicks it upfield and toward the sidelines, and it'll be down over at the 47-yard line. In the second quarter, we might remind you that the Decatur Red Raiders leading the Scottsboro Wildcats 14-6. And if you know anything at all or keep up at all with football in this area, you'll know the big game next Friday night here at North Jackson Chief High School, where the Scottsboro Wildcats will be on hand to entertain the Chiefs. And it should be a real fierce battle between these arch rivals of Jackson County. And the Chiefs will put it in play. 1st and 10 now at the Aggie 47-yard line with 7:58 to go. And running it around the left side. See who the ball carrier was that time. Some new players trotting in and out of the game now. Brandon Evans off the field. 6-yard gain by the Chiefs nonetheless. 184 yards now. Wing tee is to the right, slot deployed to that side. 4-man defensive front with 4 backers and 3 deep for the Aggies. In motion is Holloway. And the ball goes to the first back, and he gets it down to the 40-yard line, and that probably is number 20 for the Chiefs, Bobby Garner, 5'8", 154, a junior. Jason White into the contest now. Coming out for the Chiefs is J.B. McCarver. Only a yard gain that time by Garner. 3rd down and a long 2, short 3 yards to go outside the 40 of the Aggies. Just slightly outside the 40 with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. 21-0 the score. Wing tee is to the right. And the quarterback this time is Chris Stewart. He's been in on this series. Ball was handed straight ahead, and not much running room there for the Chiefs. Reserve back, Bobby Garner. Gets it across the 40, however. Gain of a yard on the play. 4th down. And less than 2 yards to go. Chris Stewart, the quarterback. He's got Harris out wide to the right on the wing. Garner in as a setback. Harris in motion. Garner with a run to the 35 and the first down. He moves it forward for 5 yards down to the 35, slightly inside. First and 10, number 8. 21-0 the score. 6:12 to go here in the second period of play. And I think the rest of the game we'll see an awful lot of our younger players. Melvin Robinson wide to the left. Harris, the wingback, to the right. Chris Stewart hands to Garner, or keeps in himself. Now runs into trouble, gets away momentarily, and runs it on down to the 32-yard line before he's hit and pushed back. Chris Stewart on the quarterback keeper, picking up about 4 yards. Knocked down over there by Chris Westmoreland of the Aggies, along with the big tackle, number 71, Barry Garner. But Chris Stewart picks up 3 yards on the play. 193 rushing offense in 22 plays here in the first half. Harris out wide to the right on the wing. Chris Stewart, a relatively quick moving first half. I really think it's all that quickly moving. As Chris Stewart steps back under at quarterback, second down, 7 yards to go, 31-yard line, the line of scrimmage in Aggie territory. Wide side of the field is to the right. Stewart on a penalty play, hands it straight ahead for 5 yards. Running it inside the 25, on down to the 24. And looks like the Chiefs will be penalized on this play, so it doesn't really matter how much they got. It'll be brought back. Big games on tap tomorrow. Southeastern Conference opener for a number of football teams. University of Alabama will be playing, and I understand airtime will be here at WVSV at 11:30 a.m. going against the And now back to action with the Chiefs running it to the right side. Holloway runs the ball for about 5 or 6 yards after the penalty play, moving back to second down and 11 yards to go. Picks up the 5 yards, and Holloway moves it to third down and still about 6 yards to go. Line of scrimmage, the 31-yard line in Aggie territory. Wing T is to the right. Chris Stewart going at quarterback in relief of senior Pat Vincent. Ball faked, kept, faked again, fumbled, and Holloway gets back on top of it. Chris Stewart on the quarterback keeper and finally fumbled it inside the 25. And David Holloway alertly got back on it, and the Chiefs come up with a first down. Netting about 10 yards in the play. First and 10. Down at the 23-yard line. Chris Stewart steps back under at quarterback. Mitchell in motion. Fakes, pitches to Bobby Mitchell, going wide to the left, turns it inside, ducks his head at the 20, and is knocked off his feet over there. Defensive end out on the right side. Also helping out was Terry Nicholas, the number 1 Chris Westmoreland, a sophomore linebacker on the right side. 21-0. Second period with 3:33 to go. After a gain of 2 yards that time by Mitchell. Second down and 8 at the 20-yard line. Chris Stewart still your quarterback. Mitchell in motion to the left. Fumble in the backfield and some kind of mix-up, but I believe the Chiefs maintained possession as it was recovered by Bobby Mitchell. But a big loss results. Losing about 5 on the play. On the fumble and recovery in the backfield. Third down and long at the 26-yard line. Wide to the right. Melvin Robinson. Chris Stewart, the quarterback, drops back, looks, shoots a pass downfield. It will be up for grabs, incomplete at the 4-yard line. Intended over there for Melvin Robinson. Broken up by Jerry McGardner. The line of scrimmage for this field goal try is the 25. They'll spot it at the 32, directly in front of the goalpost almost. slight angle to the left, perhaps. With a slight angle to the left, spotted at the 32-yard line, a 42-yard field goal try. The snap, the placement, the kick, it is low and hits the uprights and bounces through good. Well, take them any way you can get them, as Steve Moore pops it through from 42.
That popped the goalpost, didn't it?
Just popping it through, and barely, but they count all the same. 24-0. 42-yard field goal by Moore as he prepares the kickoff. Moves forward, sets the ball straight up on the tee. And the remainder of the Chiefs, sideline to sideline now, will be kicking it downfield to Terry Nicholas. And Westmoreland taken and fumbled at the 10, back to the 9. The Aggies, the marker goes down, runs it toward the sidelines and out of bounds, and he's hit hard over there. Lamar Stewart dragging him down, but a penalty is marker on the kickoff. The marker is dropped down at the 26-yard line. 24-0 with 2:24 to go. And the rapidly moving first period and most of the second has kind of slowed down a little bit in activity and movement. 24-0 here, going with 2:24 left in the second quarter of play. And the penalty will be against the Aggies. It'll be half the distance to the goal, perhaps, from the 16. That makes 13 yards in penalties against the Aggies, and they'll start this drive from their own 8-yard line. In even more trouble now. Nicholas, the quarterback, sets them in a wishbone this time, with one wide out to the right side. At fullback is Chris Westmoreland. Nicholas hands to the right halfback, coming to his left, and he really gets trampled under around the 6-yard line. Burnett was over there, Walker, Murphy Thompson, and one other player, Michael Buchanan. Gang tackling around the 7-yard line. They say he got near the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a half-yard. Been a tough night so far for the Aggies. 1 minute and 58 seconds to go. Trailing by 24. Wide receiver to the left this time with a wishbone behind Nicholas. Hands it to his right half, going back to the left. Nothing there either. Bobby Mitchell under the pile. Buchanan under the stack. Burnett back again. Chris Michon. And also coming out of the game now is Brian Guess, who was in on the tackle. And also leaving the contest, K.K. Smith for the Chiefs. No gain, 3rd down and 9. 1 minute and 22 seconds to go. And we'll have our halftime performance by the respective bands. Fairview Aggies first, and then the North Jackson Chiefs. Nicholas on the quarterback keeper to the right, gets out across the 10 up to the 15 and on about the 17 or 18-yard line. Chased down over there by Burnett. Eldridge in the area. Harris. Buchanan. And Murphy Thompson. But a first down on the play, all the way out to the 18-yard line. 10 yards of the run, biggest gain of the night for the Aggies. First down number 2. The other came as a result of a penalty at the 18-yard line. 1st and 10. Nicholas, the quarterback, hands to the left half, going to the right out of the wishbone. That's Shane Widener, a junior, who just checked into the game. And with under a minute to play, he picks up a couple of yards. As he's bounced out of bounds over there by Harris. 2nd down, 8 yards to go, 20-yard line. Aggie territory with 37 seconds left in the second quarter. 24-0 Chiefs. We'll have the stat sheet available here at halftime. And here comes the Aggies around the right side, breaking open momentarily, picking up about 5, 10, 12 yards up to the 32-yard line. And maybe 13 on the play, and it's another first down. That's number 3. As the offensive unit of the Aggies showing a little life here in the last seconds of the first half. And they've got the ball all the way out to the 33-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go on 2 earned first downs here late in the quarter. Nicholas, your quarterback. Wing T is to the left. Takes the ball and hands it to the right side. Left halfback running right. And I think that will conclude the first half of play as Mershon play, and that does conclude the first half of play. So at the end of 2 quarters of play, our score, the Chiefs 24, the Fairview Aggies 0. We'll take a 60-second break, come back and give you a look at the halftime stats and other halftime activities. This time we've got to get somebody to the PA and get you over here where you belong.
Thank you, George.
Fans, we get set for the kickoff here, and the Chiefs will kick it downfield as it goes way, way down to Nicholas, and he takes it in at the 10, back out across the 12, 14, 15-yard line, and he is hammered hard out of bounds over there. As this specialty team for the North Jackson Chiefs has really done a super job in the first game and a half of 1990. So the Aggies will put it in play, 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line, and they have an injured player down, and I think it was the man that was carrying the ball, and if so, that was their quarterback, Nicholas. They would really be in a bunch of trouble if this young player was unable to perform for them. I don't know about their reserve situation from a quarterback standpoint, but the coaching staff and assistants for the Chiefs program also out there assisting the young man. He carried a big load in the first half for the Aggies. Let's see who Coach Alfred Smith now sends out to replace Nicholas. And stepping into the slot is Levon Denny. He's listed as a junior and the quarterback for the Aggies. 0-24 is our score with 11:53 to go. The wide side of the field is to the right, split backfield, and Denny runs it on a quarterback sneak straight ahead for 2. Out to the 15, maybe up to the 16-yard line. And the Aggies were only able to pick up 38 yards in the first half of play. Correction, 39 yards. Then he gets 3 on that one for 42. 11:30 to go in the third quarter. Eldridge up front along with Chris Mershon. We got Tracy Walker and Shavers. And the backers, Burnett, Champion, as they run it around the right side. Not much running room there, getting back to about the 16-yard line. And the ball carrier, somebody else is hurt for the Aggies. The little guy, Michael Yeager, ran it around the right side, picked up John Roden as he moves to the sideline. Third down, still 6 or 7 yards to go. Line of scrimmage for the Aggies, the 16-yard line in their own territory. 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Denny, the quarterback, hands to the right halfback, coming to the left out of the wishbone, and he gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. Burnett on the play. Murphy Thompson in there. Also defensively for the Chiefs, Chris Mershon. And Big Chris comes out of the game. We'll have Buchanan and Chris Stewart back. The last time Stewart came back, he rambled back 57 yards for the touchdown on the punt return. Hicks will be back in punt formation. Shane Hicks for the Aggies. And standing around the 50-yard line. Line of scrimmage for the Aggies around the 15. Hicks kicks from about the 3. He'll pop the ball, and the Chiefs load up with 3 trying to block it, but do not. As it's a very short kick. Comes out to about the 20 and will be down around the 21-yard line. Down at the 21-yard line, Aggie territory leading 24-0 with exactly 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Chris Stewart opens at quarterback with a wing T to the right. Chris with the ball, hands it to the left halfback, coming to his right. He runs across the 20 and is grabbed by the arm and pulled down And that's another new player in the game for the Chiefs. Looks like Tommy Hutchins out there. Thomas Hutchins, 5'9", 136-pound sophomore. And he picks up a couple of yards in football players in this area. Chris Stewart with the ball, hands inside for a yard, maybe two. As Lonzo Eldridge takes it down to the 16-yard line. Knocked down up front by Philip Ashley, and this young player has been all over the field tonight. Eldridge picking up only about a yard, maybe two. It's third down and 7 or 8 yards to go, 16-yard line. We've got Ted Harris split wide to the right, and whistles blow. Markers go down before the snap of the ball on both sides of the field. Somebody perhaps either crossed or lined up in the neutral zone. It appears it'll go against the Aggies. They don't need any errors of that nature or any nature for that matter. 24-0 to score, and practically all reserves are on now for our Chiefs. As coming out of the contest is Adam Reimer. Wide receiver, is it Brad Lally out on the left side? As Harris to the right. Harris in motion to the right. Chris Stewart hands it inside and going straight up the middle of the ball. Down inside the 10 and on to about the 5-yard line is big Alonzo Eldridge. Alonzo plays in the interior line defensively. At that time, he took the interior line of the Aggies all the way down to the 5, picking up about 11 on the play. And first down, number 10. Chris Stewart has Harris in motion to the left, gives it inside to Eldridge once again, and Alonzo is met over there by Shane Hicks of the Aggies. Also into the play with Scott Butler. 2-yard run by Eldridge. And the big guy gives it second down and goal to go from around the 4-yard line. Chris Stewart, your quarterback, has Harris in motion to the left. Gives it to Eldridge again. He drives it toward the stripe. A fumble, and I believe covered by Harris in the end zone. As Alonzo Eldridge fumbled the ball into the end zone, and it was recovered by Harris for the score. So we're going to have a 4-yard gain and a touchdown here in the third period. With 7 minutes and 33 seconds to go. So we'll have to give credit to Harris for a 4-yard touchdown, as Steve Moore will kick out of the hold of Buchanan at the 10-yard line. Kicking left to right here. The snap, the placement looks good this time. It is. So, time out on the field, our score, the Chiefs 31, the Fairview Aggies 0. Five plays, 21 yards, and the Chiefs up the margin 31-0. As they prepare to kick off once again. And we'll have 3 deep for the Aggies. Thought for a moment Nicholas might be back out there, but it's Jeremy Gardner in the safety position. Over on the near side, Jamie Baker. And over on the far side, Shane Widener. Widener, Baker, and Gardner deep for the Aggies as Steve Moore kicks off for the Chiefs on the specialty team. Drives it downfield. On an end-over-end kick, taken at the 12-yard line by Gardner. Back up across the 15, 20, out to the 25, on to the 30, and finally wrestled down around the 35-yard line. And a host of Chiefs knock him down out there. Murphy Thompson on the play. Big number 36, Lamar Stewart, in there also on the special teams, but the best field position tonight, the 35-yard line. That's their own 35-yard line. They started there one time earlier, matching their best field position. here in the third with 7:15 to go. Denny, the quarterback, hands it off to the right halfback, coming left, and he is hit hard at the 32-yard line. And the young player stays on the ground. Murphy Thompson over there. Mark Aiken on the play. And the young player, Chris Westmoreland, doesn't get up. And we got 7 minutes to go in the third quarter with the score. The Chiefs 31, the Aggies 0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. The Decatur Red Raiders and the Scottsboro Wildcats 17-6. So Steve Alexander, we appreciate your help in providing these scores, listening to the broadcast, and as soon as we get you oriented, we're going to have you doing some other things, we hope. And the Aggies run it to the right side after the injured player gets off the turf. He breaks it across the 35 to the 40, runs through the whole team out to the 45 and on up to the 49-yard line. And finally knocked off his feet up there, but a big gainer of about 14 or 15 yards and a first down. But we got a fumble on the play, and the Chiefs have come up with it, and Melvin Robinson has recovered the fumble. A little late in calling that, but Melvin came up with a recovery after a 15-yard gain. And the Chiefs will have the football first and 10 down at the 48-yard line in Aggie territory. 6:44 to go. And a timeout will be mandated. This is one of the rules. And thank you, Johnny. We got a new quarterback in the game, and it's Brian Payne, and they circle the left end on his first offensive play and running forward for about 10 yards maybe. Very close to the first down yardage. Got a host of new players in the ball game. We'll pick these young players up as best we can. But anyway, Brian Payne is on now, pulling the trigger, and they're going to check for a first down. We're at a disadvantage angle-wise to tell you for sure, but it looks like it'll be shy by about 2 feet. Steve Alexander has measured it off here in the press box with his hands, and that's close enough. And here comes the Chiefs on second down and a yard to go. Brian Payne steps under. Got a couple of new setbacks behind him. I believe one is Garner. We've got Harris out at the wing. He's in motion. In fact, we had 3 players in motion that time. If we don't get a penalty there, there's a big break. Neil Shavers on the carry. I don't see any markers down. We had 3 people in motion that time. The 2 running backs and the wing back. 4 yards and a first down. 231 yards on the ground. Time winding with 6:14 to go in the third. Payne, the quarterback, runs it back to the right side, and down goes the ball carrier for a loss this time, hit by Shane Hicks. And Brian Robinson, the ball carrier, lost about 4 on the play. In fact, he lost about 5. We got second down now, 15, maybe 16 yards to go. Line of scrimmage way back out at the 36-yard line, 37. Payne, the young quarterback, fakes inside, keeps himself, got a little running room. He's across the 35 on into the 30, and down he goes. Brian Payne had a nice little gap over on the left side, turned it up for about 6 or 7 yards. It'll be third down and still 7 or 8 yards to go. As a lot of players running in and out of the backfield now. Neil Shavers out of the game. We've got Brian Payne still in at quarterback. 31-0 the score. Chiefs for the ball, 31-yard line. Payne comes back to the right, hands it off. Looks like maybe, is it Murphy Thompson in there at the halfback position? Now Brian Robinson back in the game. Had a nice little jingle out of that one as he run it to the right, circle back, cut to his left, picked up about 4 yards. And we've got trotting into the backfield Thomas Hutchins once again, along with Harris. It'll be 4th down, 4 to go after a gain of about 4. A lot of playing time here for these youngsters now. They practice hard every day, just like the rest, and they're getting some good playing experience here. Harris in motion to the left on a penalty play. Harris gets the ball. He gets the first down yardage, but I think it'll be brought back. Once again, I think we had 3 players in the backfield in motion, maybe a couple of linemen also. But anyway, the flag was dropped around the 27. It most likely will be against the Chiefs. As the official comes over to explain the ruling to Coach Lally, Coach Lally nods in the affirmative. He saw the mistakes also. Now we've got 4th down and 9 yards to go after the penalty. Wide receiver to the left, Brian Payne, your quarterback. Hutchins with the ball, coming to the right. Thomas takes it inside, outside, slips to the turf, and falls as he gets near the 30. Be way shy of the first, and we've got about 8 or 10 substitutes trotting on for the defensive unit as the Chiefs failed to convert there on the 4th down run. Tommy picked up about 235. Got a lot of hustle among these young players, though, and there will be some big days ahead for these sophomores and juniors. Brian Payne, the 3rd quarterback used tonight, a 134-pound sophomore, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall. Wide to the left comes Michael Holmes. Denny's still in at quarterback for the Aggies. He hands it out to the fullback up across the 30 to the 35-yard line. And the Chiefs has Garner in there, along with Collier and K.K. Smith making the tackle after a gain of about 2, maybe 3 yards. They're going to give him credit for 3. 61 yards now, and officially in 20 plays. 34-yard line, 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Wide side of the field is off to the right. Chiefs with a 4-man front, 4 backers, and 3 deep. They've run that almost exclusively, and a fumble to the backfield, and I don't know, it looks like the Chiefs got back on it. No indication been made yet, but the ball remains with the Aggies as Philip Ashley recovered the fumble of the backfield for a loss of about 4 yards. That makes it 3rd down 11. Just at the 30-yard line in Aggie territory. 31-0 our score. 3rd quarter, 2:33 left. Wide receiver right. Wing T left. Here comes the Aggies. Nothing there. As the Chiefs stop that play before it ever really gets going. And Lewis is about 4 more on his running attempt for the Aggies, and it'll be 4th down coming. And they finally spot the ball at the 25-yard line. The last punt netted 6 yards, so they're kicked from the 25. The Chiefs, now I don't know whether they're kick or not. Seems to be some confusion about whom is supposed to be on and off the field for the Aggies, as Shane Hicks in short punt formation gets the kick away on a penalty play. The Chiefs just let it go. Don't even have a return tandem back there. It rolls across the 45 down to the Chief 41-yard line. But a marker's down at the 26. We'll see. As no indication has been made yet. Looked like an illegal procedure against the Aggies. That being the case, I don't know whether it'll even be an option or not. They may have to kick it over, but if there is an option, I think the Chiefs will take the ball, and that is exactly 1-yard line. At their own 41-yard line with 1:28 to go. Let's see the quarterback this time, Payne. And Garner, the running back. Runs it off to the left side. Nothing fancy, just straight ahead. As Bobby Garner picks up about 7 yards. Out to the 48-yard line. Second down 3. Wing T right. Wing back is Brent Wilson out to the right side. The young sophomore in motion to the left. And Brian Payne around the left side across the 50 and on in for the first down yardage to the 45. So he moves it forward for about 8 yards. Brian Payne also trotting into the backfield now is Brock Burton. A lot of football tradition in the families of the young names you're hearing mentioned now. Wilson, Burton, Thompson, Garner, and the wing back on the right side, Brent Wilson, son of a former star for the Bridgeport Tigers. As the Chiefs take it straight up the middle, inside the 40, down to about the 36-yard line. As coming out of the game is Brock Burton for the North Jackson Chiefs. But the Chiefs pick up 9 yards, 259 now in 40 running plays. The wing back is Brent Wilson. And we'll see who the running backs are. Looks like Thomas Hutchin remains out there. As we come to the conclusion of period number 3, we'll take a 60-second break with our score 31-0 Chiefs. And we're back at North Jackson High School with our score 31-0, and we've got Steve Alexander on hand here. Steve, you got a score for us from Decatur Scottsboro.
Well, in the third quarter, George, Decatur is leading Scottsboro by a score of 24-14. Scottsboro makes a 2-point conversion on their touchdown, and so the score stands at 24-14. Third quarter, Decatur winning over Scottsboro.
Thank you for chasing down that information for us as we begin the fourth period here, and it's 31-0. And of course, the interest that prevails there is that the next opponent for our North Jackson Chiefs are the Scottsboro Wildcats. Indeed, delighted to have Steve Alexander on hand to help us here in the booth, and as the season progresses, we hope to involve him much more with our production, and we're grateful to the help that we've received from him and Johnny Ray and the fine staff at WBSB. Here comes Brian Payne around the right side. He's got 5. He's inside the 30, down to the 25, and on to the 20, and hurdles his way down maybe to the 19-yard line. 11:52 left in the game, but it may be a penalty play. Now they move the sticks, though, as Brian Payne on the quarterback keeper has given the Chiefs first down, number 12, down at the 20-yard line on a 15-yard scamper. Wing T right, Payne your quarterback, wide side of the field to the left, and here they come again. Running it straight ahead this time to the 15-yard line as Garner is the ball carrier for the Chiefs. Piled up inside. And getting off the bottom of the stack is Michael Holmes, and like Philip Ashley once again in there, and that big Adam Weaver, the tackle. Now Shane Hicks leaves the games for the Aggies. Up over the ball at center for our Chiefs now is Brian Guess. Wing back in motion. Here he comes to the left. Running it to the fakes inside at the 15 and is belted down around the 12-yard line. And that looks like another newcomer, Brent Wilson. As we said, long lineage of football players, young Brent Wilson, the son of a former great for the Bridgeport Tigers, and he put on a little move that time, faked inside, back out, took it about 5 yards forward. It's third down and a yard to go. Wide side to the right, Brian Payne with a split backfield. Wing back is in the slot to the right side this time. Here comes Brian, a little mix-up in the backfield. Keeps the ball himself. He's down to the 10, onto the 5, and down to the 3-yard line. Beautiful job of handling the ball that time, gaining some valuable experience here in the latter stages of this game. First and goal down at the 4 after a gain of about 6 on the play. 285 yards. And 43 rushing tries for our Chiefs. 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Brian Guest to center out over the ball. Wide receivers to the left. Wide side of the field, slightly to the left. And here comes the ball carrier, Brian Payne, with the option to the left this time, and he runs it down very close to the goal line. But he stopped shy by about a foot or maybe two. Shane Hicks under the stack, and he's about a foot shy of the goal line. And also helping out on the play was Jamie Baker for the Aggies. He's just a few inches away from the goal line with 9:32 to go as Payne takes it forward to less than a yard, less than a foot perhaps. And Brian on a quarterback sneak into the end zone, touchdown. Almost a certain justice on that play as Brian Payne takes it into the end zone. We're in the fourth period, and the Chiefs have upped the margin to 37 with the point after try coming. On a 1-yard run by the third quarterback that was used tonight, Brian Payne, the little sophomore. And do we have a new kicker? We'll see. No, it's Steve Moore again. Steve kicks this one. It goes off to the right and no good. So the score remains 37-0. We'll be back after this. Extended the margin 37-0. And it's been all Chiefs tonight with 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go. As the Chiefs will kick off once again. A few new jerseys sprinkling the lineup also for the wounded and somewhat injured Aggies. Looks like Chris Westmoreland, along with maybe there's no reception, as they down the ball over there on the far side. Heath Daniels. Next week it'll be the Scottsboro Wildcats to entertain the Chiefs. And you know the challenge will be extensive next Friday night. Practices will be a real concerted and enthusiastic endeavor here on the campus of North Jackson High School. There'll be a lot of practice powwows in town this coming week. And Denny back in at quarterback. Hands it off, coming right to left. Jeremy Gardner runs it up to the 24 or 5-yard line. As 2 or 3 Chiefs, Matt McLaughlin in there, 5'11", 160-pound sophomore. Strong safety for the defensive crew. Picking up about 4 yards, 2nd down and 6 to go. Very generous with a 2nd and 4. Only 61 yards in 22 plays for the Aggies. 8:20 remains in the game. Wide to the left goes another new ball carrier, Jerry James. Gets back to about the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard over on the left side. Garner making the tackle with an assist over there by K.K. Smith. K.K. is 5'11", 170-pound senior defensive end. And now checking into the game for the Chiefs, number 58, little Kevin Brooks, 5'9", 125-pound sophomore. And coming out of the contest, Maurice Sedith, 6'7", 136-pound sophomore. And we got a penalty against the Chiefs, 15 yards. First down, 10 yards to go out at the 43-yard line. 8 minutes remains in the game, 37-0. And the Chiefs 2-0 for the 1990 season. Running a little trap play back inside, and a penalty marker goes in at the 50-yard line. Pretty good run that time by the Aggies, but the marker was down in the pile as K.K. Smith made the tackle. We got a face mask call on the Chiefs, so they'll tack on 15 more. He picked up about 6 yards, and they're going to tack on 15 more. And the Chiefs now have been penalized 90 yards. About even in each half, though, 55 in the first, or 50 in the first, and now 40 here in the second. But we got 7:50 to go. And that gives the Aggies first down number 4, the first of the second half. And it came as a result of a penalty down at the 37-yard line. Here comes the left half running to his right, breaks open momentarily, spurts inside the 35 onto the 30 and down at the 29. Hit by K.K. Smith and stumbled on forward as James takes it forward for 8 yards, and that's one of the bigger plays of the night. Second down, 2 yards to go. A couple of first liners back in the game. Our Nathan Kirk is out there. And the ball carried around the left side and fumble, and I believe the Chiefs may have it. The Chiefs say they do anyway. And so be it. Looks like coming up with the pigskin for the Chiefs was David Hughes. Outstanding little specialty team player normally, but he came up with a recovery, I think, on that one. That's the third fumble recovery of the night. Previous 2 was gotten by Burnett and Melvin Robinson. And with 7 minutes to go, 37-0 the score, and the Chiefs will be back on offense. And the line of scrimmage will be around the 26-yard line. And it looks like we'll have the final, or have a timeout by the Chiefs. Coming on the field with our score, 37-0 Chiefs. Let's pause for this. As much as possible with a score of this nature, as we may have another new quarterback, Brand Lolly, in the game. He hands off to Tommy Hutchins around the right side, up across the 30, on out to the 35-yard line. And all the reserves now just doing much as they will, as the Chiefs pick up about 7 or 8 yards on the play, make, now they say 6. And Brad Lolly is the new quarterback once again. Garner, one of the running backs. Tommy Hutchins, the other. Wing back to the right. Brad with the ball. Hands it around on the right side. And the Chiefs will have a first down when Brian Robinson gets through running the ball up to the 40-yard line. Picks up about 6 more on the play. The Chiefs now with 300 yards on the ground. Got 2 in the air. That was on the conversion. As Brian Robinson gives the Chiefs first down number 13. Brad Lolly under quarterback. This is the 4th quarterback the Chiefs have used tonight. On a play straight up the middle for about 5 yards, and Neil Shaver's the ball carrier that time. Picks up about 5-6 yards on the play. As Neil Shavers, we understand the brother of James Shavers, one of the outstanding performers in the line for the Chiefs. And here comes the Chiefs straight ahead again. And this time it's David Hughes, I think, carries the ball up near first down yardage around the 50. Yes, and he's tackled in there by Jeremy James, along with Mike Hawes and Adam Weaver. Going to measure for the first down. And it looks like it may be first down, and it is. Number 14. As Hughes picks up about 4 on the play. 50-yard line. As Brad Lolly. The quarterback, no, we got another quarterback in the game, and it's Matt McLaughlin. And on a straight ahead handoff for about 2 yards. Just letting the clock run now. Inside 5 minutes and rolling, 37-0 our score. McLaughlin back under at quarterback. Wing tee is to the right. Wide receiver off to the left. And we may have an update here on the score. We'll try to pick that up for you momentarily. Coming around the left side is another new running back in for the Chiefs. He's hit down hard over there. As that one is Brent Wilson. And the tackle was made by Johnny Roden of the Aggies. But Wilson still got a couple of yards. 314 now for the Aggies. As we've got a momentary timeout for an injured player, and while we do, we'll let Steve Alexander bring us up to date on the Scottsboro Decatur score.
Okay, George, thanks a lot. With 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Decatur has scored again and is leading Scottsboro by a score of 31-14. Now, Scottsboro is, this will be their second loss tonight if they lose, so they'll be coming into this game with 2 losses next week.
And a lot of vigor and vitality and anxious to get in the win column. That'll make the assignment even more difficult for the Chiefs. Running around the right side is a new running back, and he storms his way to the 40, 35, and on down to about the 32-yard line. And let's see. For the Chiefs, that's Brian Robinson. Takes it forward for first down, number 15. And in the process, picked up about 15 yards. McLaughlin, the quarterback, wing T right, hands it to Thomas Hutchins around the right side. He's got 5 down the sideline. He's to the 20 and runs out of bounds. They say at the 21-yard line. Picking up about 12 on the play. First and 10, number 16. 341 yards now for our Chiefs. 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go. First down, number 16. 37-0 is your score. And we're 3 minutes and 44 seconds away from taking on the Scottsboro Wildcats, who are currently losing, we understand, to the Decatur Red Raiders. As the Chiefs, Garner takes it straight ahead inside the 15 and on down to about the 13-yard line. As little Bobby Garner, 5'8", 154-pound junior fullback, rambles for 8. 349 yards now for our Chiefs. Weather should be near perfect next week, as the prognosticators are indicating. Maybe the heat and humidity will clear out of here. Should be a fine football weekend next week. Second down and 2 yards to go. And around the right side goes Brian Robinson. He takes it to the 10. He's to the 5. He gets into the end zone for the score. And he runs it forward for about 13 yards for the score. And you're in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go. Robinson for 13 yards and TD. As Steve Moore tries the extra point, he kicks again. This time it is good. So Moore adds the extra point. We're back at North Jackson High School. We invite you, if you wish, to join us for the replay sometime tomorrow here over WVSV. Don't want to get involved in the exactly when the time will be because of the Alabama. It'll be after the Alabama broadcast, we understand, tomorrow, because we would not have time to complete the broadcast prior to the early kickoff for the Crimson Tide at 11:30. Big game for the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Florida Gators at Tuscaloosa. Of course, as you all know, Coach Gene Stallings in his debut as head coach of the Tide lost last week to the underdog Southern Mississippi. As Steve Moore kicks the ball downfield, taken at the 15-yard line. Pulled in there by Jerry James, runs right to left, out across the 20, up to the 25. Maybe he gets to the 30-yard line. And out to the 31, 32. Inside 3 minutes now. Not much to write home about for the Aggies in this ball game, trailing 44-0. And it's out at the 32-yard line as the Chiefs are penalized 15 more yards. That puts us over 100 in the penalty department. As the Aggies get the ball now all the way up to the 43-yard line as a result of the penalty. And it'll be a first down and 10 yards to go at the 43-yard line. Denny under at quarterback. Goes off to his right, looks downfield. Decides to tuck it under and run, and he'll be hit for a loss back at the 40-yard line. And getting to him first was the Chiefs' Brian Robinson. And the young player does not get off the turf. Levon Denny, the quarterback, is injured on the play. While we have this momentary break, we'll run across the stats and the scoring for you. In case you're late in joining the broadcast, the Chiefs with 362 yards of the ground, 2 through the air on a conversion, and that's all in the passing department. Scoring the first period, Holloway, 1-yard run. The kick attempt failed. In the second quarter, with time running out, Holloway ran it in from 6 yards. The 2-point conversion made it 14-0. In the second period, with 10:14 to go, Chris Stewart returned the punt 57 yards. Moore added the point to make it 21-0. Second quarter with 2:32 to go, Steve Moore kicked a 42-yard field goal to make it 24-0. In the third, 7:33 left, and Harris ran it in from 4 yards out. Moore added the extra point, 31-0. And in the fourth period, it was Brian Payne taking it over from 1 yard away. The point after try was no good, and it was 37-0. And then the last score so far in the game, with 3 minutes to go, was run in from 13 yards away by Brian Robinson, and the point after kick was good by Steve Moore to make it 44-0 with 2:28 left in the game. And going to the sideline now is Levon Denny, the second quarterback used tonight for the Aggies. And now we've got, coming back into the game, is Terry Nicholas, who was injured earlier. As the clock starts, and the ball is handed around the right side to Shane Widener, and he gets nailed as he gets back maybe to the line of scrimmage. David Hughes got to him early, along with Maurice Suddeth. Practically all substitutes in the game now. Donovan Whited out there, 5'9", 244, a sophomore tackle. On these young players you'll be hearing from on down in the months and years ahead. Barry Purion, 5'7", 158-pound sophomore lineman. And Nicholas hands it off to Widener once again around the left side this time. He has stood up and hit hard back at the 40-yard line. No gain. It'll be fourth down coming with 1:43 to go. As he was knocked down over there by, I believe it was K.K. Smith on. And back into the game now goes Donovan Whited. As we come to fourth down, and from the 41-yard line, the Aggies will punt once again. Chiefs don't send anybody back with 1:14 to go with the clock running. As Shane Hicks is back in punt formation for the Aggies. And he kicks the ball away, and nobody's back to even just let it roll on down to the 10-yard line in Chief territory. 49 yards on the kick. And Steve, do you have some more information concerning the Wildcats and the upcoming game with the Chiefs next week?
Well, George, of course, the last score we had was 31-14 in the ending of the third quarter. We don't have any new information. Of course, Scottsboro lost to Guntersville last week by a score of 7-6. And it looks like North Jackson's going to go home with a great win, 44-0, or actually they are home, but they're going to stay home with a nice win this evening. And of course, they beat Fort Payne last week, 21-14. So it looks like next week's game, North Jackson's going to come in with 2 wins, and Scottsboro's going to come in with 2 losses. But with those cross-county rivals, you never can tell.
Exactly right there, Steve, and we're looking forward to it with the 6A Powers Scottsboro Wildcats coming in next Friday night. And it should be a jam-packed house and exciting. And after the penalty, the Aggies kick it, and this time it rolls dead around the 11 or 12-yard line. First and 10. So instead of a 49-yard kick, it turns out to be a 47-yarder. And with 32 seconds to go, the Chiefs may just elect to let the clock run out. Maybe snap the ball and drop to the knee from the 11-yard line. Clock started. Inside 30 seconds now. I don't know. The Chiefs may just let it run out. One more snap of the ball, and it's 44-0. And our Chiefs have picked up win number 2 and win number 1 in area competition. And they just dropped to the turf, and that'll be the end of the ball game. So 44-0 our score, and our Chiefs have gone 2-0 in the 1990 season with the Scottsboro Wildcats coming, and you can bet your life that they will be in for
Good, good. Okay.